Okay, here we go again. I've got all the data on Miami's luxury housing market for the second quarter of 2023. So let's check out the numbers. Stay tuned. I'll give you all the details. Hey, I'm Sep Niakan, founder of Blackbook Properties and Condo Blackbook.com, and we are the only brokerage and guide you need to know the Miami and South Florida real estate market like an insider. Today we're talking about market numbers and stats and tying it into what's happening here on the ground in Miami, which is affluent population steadily growing, a ton of new businesses coming in because of the business-friendly environment, and of course, weather, taxes, the whole bit. It is creating a really amazing market here. Let's check it out. But before we begin, if you aren't already a Blackbook Insider, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss these market updates in the future, or any of the other content we put out every week on all things Miami. Let's jump into the second quarter 2023 market report for the Miami luxury condo market. And by the way, if you like this video so far, give a like now. We really appreciate it. First off, we are talking luxury sales here. That means sales of condos at $1 million and above for the key Miami coastal neighborhoods. So now that the second quarter data is here, what really is happening in the Miami real estate market? Overall, we're seeing sales continuing to stabilize to better than pre-pandemic numbers after a roaring, record-setting last few years. Prices are continuing to rise, and these changes are met with lower inventory in the city. Both very good signs for a healthy market. But we'll come back to those. Let's first talk sales. In general, you have to remember that 2022 and 2021 were outliers, where all metrics shattered records. So when comparing this quarter to the same quarter last year, there were a total of 424 sales compared to a whopping 772 sales in 2022, a drop of 45%. Yikes. That seems grim and very crashy. But if we look at the pre-pandemic years, meaning sales from 2020 and earlier, Q2 sales volumes outperformed any prior years, period. Had we not had the insane 2022, these results would be still setting records. As luxury condo market experts, we expect the Miami real estate market to stay in good shape moving into the third quarter. Now that we're in Q3 as we post this video, we're still seeing a decent amount of demand and prospective buyer outreach, and frankly, contracts coming in. Considering we're in the heat of the summer, we're in pretty good shape. Let's take a look at what the prices are doing. As we've seen for several quarters in a row now, while sales volumes may be normalizing a bit, prices are steady and even still increasing in some segments. The overall median price per square foot for all of Miami was $950 per square foot last quarter, a 3% increase from last year when it was $925 per square foot. And it's a very slight dip from Q1 where we hit an all-time high of $964 per square foot. But the combined neighborhoods of Coconut Grove and Coral Gables broke a record in the second quarter, reaching $999 a square foot. For median sales prices, most of these numbers were flat, just a 1 to 2% drop. Nothing I'm too concerned about. Sellers are not moving their prices down too much, and there's not a lot of inventory of good quality product out there. So when a buyer finds what they find, they don't have a lot of options, and they end up typically having to negotiate with a seller who's in control. What is more important for me to share with you is how prices have steadily increased over the past 5 years. Miami's just continued to increase in value in terms of its pricing. For those of you who are waiting patiently for a bubble to burst and jump in to get amazing deals on Miami condos, we're just not seeing it. It's nowhere in the numbers, nowhere in what we're seeing on the ground. Sure, there could be adjustments here and there, but so far, there's really not any big clues of anything like that happening. By the way, if you want to review all of these stats in detail yourself to dig in, you can go to condoblackbook.com for all of our in-depth quarterly market reports. And frankly, you can even contact me and I'll send you the underlying Excel sheet for those of you who are number crunchers. So if you follow real estate, you'll know that there are a few other stats we need to understand to really see the health of the market. And those are inventory and days on market. In 2022, we were in a seller's market, a strong seller's market, which is why we were seeing units selling in just days, multiple offers, tons of cash offers, etc. In June of 2022, inventory was at a record low 6 months, and in some neighborhoods hovering at around 4 months. That's smoking hot. Then at the end of last year, as there was talk of a recession, interest rates had gone up, a lot of buyers started hesitating and inventory moved back up a bit. But right after the new year, buyers jumped back in, got in the game, and started buying again, which is why we're now seeing things normalize yet again, which is a great sign. Overall, Miami inventory in the second quarter adjusted to 12 months after peaking at actually 19 months in February earlier this year. On a quarter-over-quarter basis, inventory was down from 16 months in March this year to 12 months in June 2023. As real estate experts, what we believe will happen next year is for inventory to creep up as we head into Q3 and Q4, and maybe even to Q1, which is a lot of what happens seasonally here in Miami. Usually Q2 is where inventory gets gobbled up, which is what we saw this year as well. So if you want a little less competition, the summer and the fall are the best times to buy. One last indicator of stability we follow is days on market, which is how many days it takes to sell a luxury condo on average. Overall, the days on market for Q2 2023 increased from 58 days to 72 days on market. Now, for some that might seem concerning, but we have to remember Q2 2022 was a record low days on market at 58 days. So there's a lot of clients I have from San Francisco, Seattle, historically constantly hot markets. And what they're used to is properties staying on just for a few weeks or even a few days as the norm. But Miami historically has a fairly long days on market, 72 days, 58 days. Those are all amazing. If I saw even 120 days, I'd still be okay with it. So just keep that in mind as you are looking at these numbers. However, compared to last quarter, condos sold a little bit faster, about 4 to 5 days faster than we saw at the beginning of the year. Nothing major and still well within the averages you would expect in the Miami market. So what's the takeaway here? What do we expect and predict for the rest of the year? Well, as real estate experts who are on the ground every day, we kind of have a feel of the market sentiment, what our clients are saying and feeling and doing, and what we see on the street. What we're seeing is that Miami is still hot and is continuing on its maturity path. New luxury pre-construction projects continue to be built and announced and sold at a brisk pace. Why? Because there's not enough inventory of the kinds of properties the higher net worth and more affluent clients that are coming to Miami desire. There have been more than 100 new projects announced over the past 2 years. Some rentals, some condos, but each very different across all of South Florida, which is a very large area. And unlike previous growth cycles in Miami, we've yet to see any projects being canceled or not completed due to lack of sales or funding. These projects are selling out and buyers are stable end users, except of course for specific projects that are intended for investors like condos that allow short-term rentals. And of course, those are investors, not end users. Secondly, we're continuing to see increased buyer demand and interest from existing clients. So basically people buying more than one property, not buying dozens at a time, but feeling confident about the market, happy about what they've been able to achieve, and then going and deciding to add on to their portfolios. And those are both domestic folks and international folks. Yes, we do have some buyers wanting to wait for interest rates to drop, but for the most part, the luxury buyer in Miami is an educated buyer who wants what they want when they want it. They're not always affected by interest rates, either because they're buying with cash or they know they can refinance or simply don't want to wait to get what they want at this point in their life. Additionally, investor sentiment is strong, with buyers knowing that Miami has hit a new plateau and that they'll be able to rent out their properties for additional income. In the end, Miami's quality of life is still one of the biggest drivers of the market. The bottom line is our Lux market is stable, and the proof is that wealthy people are moving here in droves for tax benefits, for the weather, lifestyle. Of course, the business-friendly environment is bringing in more businesses, and tech jobs are the biggest growth sector in Miami right now for job growth, which of course are the higher paying jobs. And high demand for vacations here are bringing in Airbnb and seasonal condo investors and second homers, of course, as well. Of course, we expect some near-term cooling to happen, especially since historically third quarters in Miami are the slowest, but everything else is pointing to a stable and positive market. So what's your take? Are you waiting to buy here, wanting to sell? If you've got ideas and thoughts on this market or want to talk data, give me a call or leave me a comment. Again, if you want the underlying data that we're using to come up with these numbers, I'm happy to send it to you. Just let me know. And remember, we're also your #1 brokerage to help you buy or sell your property in South Florida. Thanks for watching and have a great day.